1:30 in the morning.
It was homecoming.
What is going on at 1:30 in the morning for children?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
You saw what Jason did there with the 6'7", trying to appeal to the Gen Z people. Always doing that, Jason. I get what you're doing there.
You're so annoying with that.
What?
This is Sunday Karma, powered by ESPN Wisconsin. Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue. Alongside Greg Scalzo, Alex Strouf, and Kyle Wallace, here's Good Karma Brand's founder and CEO, Craig Karmazin.
Okay, away we go on a Sunday morning. Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin. No Craig Karmazin, no Greg Scalzo. Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace hanging out with you until noon this morning, as we will take an escapade across the landscape of Wisconsin sports. Is that a good word for that? Escapade?
All right, Janet Jackson. That's very timely with the Michael Jackson
Thank
movie.
you. I appreciate that.
You like that song?
I don't know that song. I didn't do it on purpose.
Boy, it's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not super familiar with the works of Janet Jackson.
Bro, you missing out.
Now,
Hits.
this movie that came out, it's a biopic about Michael, correct?
Yeah, Michael, about MJ. It stops before all the allegations.
And death, I would assume.
Oh, yeah. It stops
So
in the 80s.
it's like the uprise of Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
Have you?
I have not seen it yet.
Okay. But you will.
Oh, I'm a Michael fan.
I know you are. That's what.
Yeah, I will.
But I feel like everybody is.
Well,
Obviously, there's some hazy area. But
I won't get into
if we're just talking about the musician and the music, I feel like everybody likes Michael Jackson.
I mean, you should. I mean, especially little Michael, Jackson 5, Michael. How could you not like Jackson 5, Michael? Your ears have to be bad. Even deaf people like little Jackson 5.
Wow.
Yeah, they can see the dancing. And you see the hand, the sign language of it. You feel that you can feel the vibration, you can feel the music, you can feel the energy without being able to hear it. And then when you get to see the lyrics, I mean, when I had you to myself, I didn't want you around those pretty faces. Oh, like you can feel it.
For somebody that's clearly not feeling super well, and Kyle Wallace, you can hear the stuffed up nature of his voice right now. He crushed that.
I couldn't even do the forceful because I realized that I've been sick for almost a week now, so I got to do something different.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
As I told you, I can't really talk a lot today. And so the first 3 minutes I've talked.
So yeah, that was your own fault. You set yourself up there. So I'm going to make you continue to talk here for a moment, and then we'll shift to the Packers. Jason Wilde is going to join us at 10:30. We'll talk about the Brewers in the 11 o'clock hour, and maybe we'll hit some Bucks talk in the 11 o'clock hour as well here on this first Sunday of May.
Houston, we have a problem.
Do we?
Houston, they got a problem.
Oh, sure.
I have the solution.
KD to Milwaukee? Is that the solution?
Hell no.
Okay. So this Michael Jackson movie, I'm not done here yet, and we'll talk Packers. So when did this come out?
It came out not last week, the week before. I think like Thursday night.
And how are the reviews?
I think fantastic. The reviews, at least the people who have seen it, loved it. People, Michael Jackson fans is crazy, so they all dressing up. They doing dances in the hallways and stuff like that. So I think the
Can you
reviews.
moonwalk?
No, I'm not much of a dancer like that. No, I can dance to the hip hop, but I can't dance to pop. I ain't Chris Brown.
Got it.
I ain't MJ.
Okay. So when it comes to Michael Jackson fans, you called them crazy.
Bro, they're wild.
Power rank the crazy
Good question.
artist fan bases.
MJ's number one. Taylor Swift is
Swifties
Taylor
are two?
Swift two. Beyonce's
The
3.
Beehive. Does Michael Jackson's fan base have a nickname like Swifties and the Beehive?
No, they don't need to. No, they just love Michael Jackson.
Okay.
I mean, then the Deadheads are still
definitely
still around.
Our own Greg Scalzo, part of that. Yeah.
I mean, they're still around.
But I don't know if they're crazy.
They're weird, man. Like,
they're hippies.
Yeah, they're hippies. Like people used to legitimately follow them around.
Oh yeah,
like they used to just go wherever they went. Like
which I find pretty awesome, to be honest.
Yeah, you didn't have a real life. You just go where are they playing at next? Chris Brown people are insane as well.
I guess I didn't realize he had a following.
Bro, see, you're not tapped in.
I must not be.
Chris Brown can charge like $1,000 just to take a picture with him. He literally ran for his concerts. He ran a backstage thing where you can take a picture with him, like however you want to take the picture with him. So women would just line up and pay, and men, but mostly women would line up and they would pay like $500 to $1,000 just to be able to meet and greet Chris Brown and get to take a picture where they get to stand however they want.
I was going to say, some of those pictures have gone viral on the internet.
So you've seen it.
So the women are doing crazy things, and their boyfriends are like in the picture, being pushed aside by Chris Brown. It's quite uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, that's what they wanted.
What about like Nicki Minaj fans? Do those still exist?
They exist, but they're not.
They have a nickname though, right? Barbies, is it?
Yeah, they're not. It's not real like that. I'm trying to think. A Lady Gaga folks is crazy too.
Oh, that's a good one.
Gaga got some crazy folks.
Sure.
I don't. I it's so hard. 'Cause I don't know like the Elton Johns. Like how crazy was his fan base? All these rock bands, right? Like you got Ozzy died this past year, and there's a lot of folks who are crazy about him.
Like Ozzy a lot, yeah.
But I just know there's nothing. MJ, Beehive, and Taylor right now, they got the game in a chokehold. Beatles fans, I'm sure they were crazy.
MJ fans right now specifically have it in the
but they're back. But the one thing about MJ that I don't think any other music artist group has ever done is MJ has been doing it since he was a child. So he's been doing literally since MJ has been hot since like the late 60s.
What about like Bieber? Because Bieber started as a child too. Yeah, but obviously he's still young.
He's still young. Yeah, but the Bieber fever isn't as high as what people used to faint. Michael Jackson used to just come up on stage and just stare, and people would just just fall out and faint. Because we're both too young to really understand.
Yeah.
But if you go back and watch Michael Jackson in the 80s and the early 90s, you will see the amount of fandom. Incredible fandom. It's like if you think Packers fans are crazy, if you think Bears fans are crazy, if you think Cowboys fans are crazy,
MJ fans are another level.
MJ fans make them look like nothing. Like nothing. If you like, what's the most rowdy fan base you think you see in sports?
Oh, in American sports, it could be like Buffalo fans.
Buffalo. If you think
maybe that's fresh on the mind with the Sabres win.
Yeah, but if Buffalo fans are crazy, not even close. Not even close. Philly fans, what to MJ? What? MJ concert will have more people inside a financial field than what a damn Eagles game would. I'm telling you this right now. That is how insane it is. Michael Jackson is so incredible that he literally changed the NFL halftime show. Like that. That is how special he was. So yeah, Strouf. I know you too young. You only know when they called him Wacko Jacko.
I remember when he passed. I was in my pool. I was a child.
Damn, you were a kid. I was driving to work.
2008?
No, 2009.
2009. So I think I was 11. And my best friend called me, and he goes, "MJ died," and I thought he was talking about Michael Jordan.
I mean, that's another thing. The MJ's in my childhood.
Both of them.
Greatness.
Yeah. So. Apparently, I don't know, but I'm getting reintroduced to it,
which is cool
with the hype of this movie.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
And I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to go see it.
Yeah, I mean, you can go ahead and support a partner.
But here's the thing: so many people are talking about it. It's the talk of the world right now. Is this Michael Jackson movie?
Yeah.
But I guess my problem is, and I feel like this has happened in many documentaries recently. Like, I love Aaron Rodgers. Don't get me wrong; he's my favorite quarterback of all time.
Yep.
But they did this documentary on Rodgers on Netflix. And it was not.
No, it wasn't good.
It wasn't critical.
No, it wasn't.
And I feel like if you are a polarizing figure like a Michael Jackson and like an Aaron Rodgers, very different levels of polarization, but both polarizing in their own way, there needs to be critique if you're doing a biopic or a documentary. And the Michael Jackson one left all of that out, is my understanding.
I mean, it sounds like this one was. Listen, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But it sounds to me they kind of just focused on the greatness, and that's what happens when you get to control the narrative. You focus on the good, but there might be a part two.
Maybe, I doubt it because his family was involved in this. Correct?
Yeah, they were.
Okay.
There might be a part two. They can talk. They can paint the narrative, but this ain't the first Jackson 5 type thing. They had the Jackson 5 American Dream back in the 90s. I remember seeing that seeing it later on as I was a kid, where he was talking to mice.
Huh.
Yeah, you don't know what I'm talking about. He had a pet rat.
Oh, maybe I did.
And then the dad killed the pet rat. Oh,
When he was a child?
Yeah.
Why does Dad kill the rat?
It's a movie, man. What do you mean why they kill a rat?
You don't have any pets, right?
No, hate them.
Okay, so whoa.
Yeah, being honest.
So when you have kids eventually, hopefully,
Lord willing, we're gonna try.
What in terms of pets will you allow? Guinea pig?
No, ain't no pets in my house.
No dog, no cat?
Hell no, they all stay.
No hamster, no snake?
No, nothing. No, ain't no pets. You don't need, maybe a fish. Maybe a goldfish.
Those are
in a bowl.
stinky.
Oh, well, then no fish then. Nah. What we need pets for? You gonna have siblings and parents and cousins. I'm so serious. If you need to be entertained, call your cousin.
Okay.
I talk to my cousins all the time.
So no pet rat would be allowed in the Wallace household either.
Rats.
So you're team MJ's father.
I'm team MJ's father. Not as quite. I wish I had the guts that MJ's father Joe had to have my kid, to do whatever it takes to make my kids great. You know what he did to make his kids great, or no? Are you not familiar?
No.
Spare the rod, spoil the child. Let me tell you, Joe Jackson didn't spare the rod.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you know that saying. Or
I
no?
don't at all. No.
Damn, man, it's cultural.
Explain it to me, and then we'll go to break.
For me not to get canceled. Joe Jackson, let's just say that he believed in corporal punishment. If you didn't get the step right, he wasn't gonna just yell at you.
Okay.
He was gonna have that belt in hand. He gonna say, "Little Michael, miss that note again. Miss it again, Michael.
Okay.
Miss it again. It's gonna BTA." And they all knew BTA. Do the wrong step again. Step left when you're supposed to step right.
Wow.
Jermaine, BTA. That's the problem. That's what Matt LaFleur need to be more. BTA to these guys.
Solids NYPR on YouTube says at the end of the movie they did say part 2 was coming.
There it is.
That's a spoiler.
There it is. But no, I'm telling you, the Raptors all up, sports world. I think Matt LaFleur needs to be a little bit more like Joe Jackson.
Now that's a tease.
No.
I do want to talk about the evolution of the Packers leadership because it's been on my mind a lot this week. And after listening to Matt LaFleur speak on Friday, I think it is very obvious that changes are being made despite the fact that everybody's back. They all kick the feet up at the Kohler Lounge. Ed Policy, Russ Ball, Brian Gutekunst, Matt LaFleur a couple months back. They decide, hey, you're all getting extensions. But it just hasn't been good enough to win a Super Bowl. And it's pretty clear, the messages that are being sent by Green Bay this offseason. It's Super Bowl or bust in 2026. We'll talk about the Packers' philosophy change and evolution. Jason Wilde will join us at 10:30. We're done talking about Michael Jackson. We talk about the Green Bay Packers. Evolution change is next on Sunday Karma.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Tiara from Events by Design here. We were thrilled to work with Thanasis Antetokounmpo on Thanalysis Live.
Welcome to the stage, Nature Boy, Rick Flair!
Events by Design, a proud partner of Thanalysis.
Mr. Pat Murphy!
Events by Design. We design, you party.
Looking for a better spot for your next team outing or client meeting? Welcome to Veer North, Milwaukee's upscale sports bar, designed for more than just game day. It's ESPN Milwaukee's Alex Strouf. Veer North, located on Milwaukee's east side, your go-to for catching the big game, happy hour, or your next group outing. This is more than your average sports bar. Elevated food, craft cocktails, and a modern atmosphere. Perfect for off-site meetings and entertaining clients. And when the game's on, you've got the best seat in the house. Veer North, Milwaukee's east side destination for business and game day alike.
Hey folks, Gabe here. Now we all know baseball's been around a long time, since the 1800s, but you know what's been around even longer? Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America. Yeah, that's right, Yuengling started brewing in 1829. That means people were drinking a cold Yuengling before baseball even existed. A great beer that stood the test of time for 197 years. So the next time you're watching the game, reach for a Yuengling traditional lager from the oldest brewery in America. Now finally, in your lineup.
DG Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
Looking for a dinner that actually impresses and cocktails that keep the conversation going? Head to the second floor of St. Kate the Arts Hotel and discover the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails. Bold, elevated dinners, thoughtfully crafted cocktails. It's the kind of place where every plate and every pour is made with intention. Come for dinner, stay for another round. The Studio Kitchen and Cocktails on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel.
It's Mike with Infinity Exteriors. I've seen it all, Wisconsin. Sketchy sales gimmicks for low-quality windows, siding that costs more than a new home, fly-by-night roofers. 60,000 happy customers made a better choice. Infinity Exteriors roofing, siding, and windows all come with our lifetime workmanship warranty, no overcharges, and transparent pricing. At Infinity Exteriors, we're on a mission to save our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Roll out the winning this May at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. Have a barrel of fun with your share of $300,000. Just play with your rewards card for entries, and Thursday night you could hit a home run. Plus, your May drawing entries all count towards the Big League Series prize drawing in June. It's Tic Tac Home Run. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Homer here for Milwaukee Weight Loss. Been on the journey since January, over 3 months, down 26 pounds today. If you're looking for a safe and easy program that will actually help you keep the weight off, this is it. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Results may vary.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just for you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Huh. What a music choice by Kyle Wallace this morning. Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin. Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace hanging out with you until noon. 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, and, of course, on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee and at ESPN Madison is where you can watch us, see us in the studio in downtown Milwaukee. Good to be with you. So I've been thinking a lot about the Green Bay Packers, obviously, coming out of the NFL draft. And if you've listened to me for a long time, you know I am a staunch Matt LaFleur defender. I think Matt LaFleur is a really good head coach. I do. I thought 2025 was a bad year for him. And the way that Chicago Bears game blew up in the playoffs, I would not have been surprised had the Packers moved on. I'm glad they didn't, because I think Matt LaFleur, if you look at this coaching cycle, would have been the hottest commodity this coaching cycle. He would have been the no-brainer for another team to pick up. And we know the saying, the grass ain't always greener. I still have a really hard time believing if you move on from Matt LaFleur, the grass could be greener, because I think he's a really good head coach. He's a great elevator of talent. We've seen what he's been able to do with Jordan Love and Malik Willis in recent years, and make one of at the time was the highest paid quarterback in the league, and Malik Willis was a fix-up project and turned him into a $30 million quarterback.
New project coming. New project loading.
Yeah, it's
baby.
Desmond Ridder or Kyle McCord. But here's the thing that I've struggled with for a few years now when it comes to Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst, the Packers general manager. It is, they've been good but not good enough. A 7th seed in the playoffs 3 years in a row is probably underwhelming the last 2 years. The first year was fine. We didn't really have expectations in 23, the first year of Jordan Love as the starting quarterback. But in 24 and 25, the expectations were raised after winning a playoff game. And the Packers have not exceeded expectations in those 2 seasons. They've made the playoffs 3 years in a row, which is an accomplishment. No other team in the NFC North has done that. Detroit hasn't made the playoffs 3 years straight. Chicago obviously hasn't made the playoffs 3 years straight. Minnesota obviously hasn't made the playoffs 3 years straight. The Packers are the only team in the division to do that, one of, if not the toughest divisions in football. But there is something they haven't done in any of those 3 seasons, and that's win the division. And that's control their own destiny with some home field advantage throughout the postseason. And that obviously has to be a huge goal for the 2026 season. But how do you get from good to great? How do you graduate from being just good and get to great? And I imagine, I referenced last segment, the Kohler Lodge meetup between the Big Four, Ed Policy, Russ Ball, Brian Gutekunst, and Matt LaFleur, that's been referenced so many times back in late January when those guys came to the decision that this will be the cast moving forward. They will run it back in 2026 with those guys at the top. But they've been good, not great. So how do they evolve from good to great? Brian Gutekunst, since last August, has clearly shown a philosophy change, a change in action, a change in character to a point. He traded 2 first-round picks, which we know how much Goody loves his first-round picks. He traded 2 first-round picks to acquire Micah Parsons. And now this offseason, he traded another player, and Colby Wooden, to Indianapolis to acquire a 30-year-old linebacker, Zaire Franklin, who will be his top linebacker this year, alongside Edrin Cooper. A few weeks later, he goes out and he signs a 31-year-old defensive tackle. Speaking about 30-year-old NFL players and coming to Green Bay was a sin just a year ago. And Brian Gutekunst went and brought in 2 30-plus-year-old starters to this Packers defense. This NFL draft, Brian Gutekunst, as I mentioned, did not have a first-round pick. But he spent his day 2 and day 3 picks on needs rather than best player available. Cornerback, defensive tackle, defensive end were his first 3 picks. And I think if we sat down and we talked about the positions that most need an impact player, those would be the 3 we'd come up with. And then maybe offensive line. And oh, by the way, his 4th pick in the NFL draft was an offensive lineman. So to address needs in the NFL draft and bring in 30-plus-year-old veterans and trade 2 first-round picks for a star player, all out-of-character actions by Brian Gutekunst in the course of the last calendar year. So clearly there is a philosophy change of sorts for Goody. Matt LaFleur, no different. LaFleur, back at the NFL owners' meetings last month, told the reporters, yeah, we've got to rip this thing down to the studs. We've got to treat this like a year-1 offense. And as you may recall, year 1 under Matt LaFleur was a pretty good one, 13-3 back in 2019. And an MVP quarterback to go along with that. So if we talk about, I take that back. Rodgers won MVP the following year, but still, really good season for him in 19. Revitalized his career when Matt LaFleur came into town. So Matt LaFleur talked on Friday to reporters during this Packers rookie camp, which we'll talk more about with Jason Wilde in a bit. But he talked about spending time not only with quarterbacks when asked a question about the aforementioned Kyle McCord, a guy competing for a backup quarterback position. This is what Matt LaFleur said about how he's been handling this rookie camp and some time this offseason with some of his assistant coaches.
I've been trying to do a better job of not just going to the quarterback room. I've been in a bunch of different rooms, but I mean, and today was the first live exposure that I've seen him throw.
So LaFleur referring to Kyle McCord there at the end, but admits to spending more time in other position group rooms than quarterback, which we know. Matt LaFleur, former quarterback coach, former quarterback, a guy that spends a lot of time with the quarterback, gets a ton of credit for what he's been able to do with Malik Willis as Jordan Love's backup. But that's a change for Matt LaFleur. He's got to look at other position groups. And I don't think this is a signal of Matt LaFleur is now micromanaging because he feels his seat warming up. I think he feels responsibility as the head coach, which he should, to evaluate the other position groups more closely. Because quarterback is not a position group of concern right now. You have, in your opinion, my opinion, an opinion we should all have, a top 10 quarterback in the NFL for many years to come, who is entering clearly what we saw last season, the prime of his career. Love was awesome last year. Now he's just got to continue to elevate little by little and clean up on some of the little things, but he's grown a ton in terms of decisiveness. Love looks like he could be one of the best quarterbacks in the league for the next decade or so. So, yeah, quarterback really shouldn't be that big of a concern. Backup quarterback can be, but in May, why are we spending time on the backup quarterback? Should be spending time with some of these, especially at rookie camp, some of these guys that you anticipate could make an immediate impact come the season. Whether that's Chris McClellan at D-tackle or Brandon Cisse at corner, or hell, even Trey Smack at kicker. Who are these guys going to be that make an immediate impact? That's who Matt LaFleur should be spending time with, and he is. And this shouldn't be a concerning change. This should be an encouraging change because it all goes back to a slight philosophy tweak. I said it. They've been really good. They haven't been great. They've been a playoff team. They haven't been a championship team. So what are those small things you can do with touch differently that get you from really good, a playoff team, a team that's in second place in the conference in week 14 of the season prior to Micah Parsons' injury, to, oh, man, it's week 14, and there seems to be only one real contender in the NFC, and that's the Green Bay Packers. How do you just get that slightly better, slightly more efficient? And it's some of these philosophy change. It's signing 30-year-old veterans to make an impact on your defense. You know they've probably only got a few good years left. You might as well bring them to Green Bay if you're swinging for the fences and chasing championships. For Matt LaFleur, it's maybe spending a little bit more time in this room rather than with a quarterback who could be making a legitimate MVP campaign in 2026. All of these things are encouraging to me, not concerning. Just because he's an 8th-year head coach doesn't mean he can't evolve and change. And we hear Matt LaFleur talk about it all the time. He's a man of many cliches. Football is an evolving game, he said again on Friday. Here's Matt LaFleur talking about the evolution and how you have to evolve with it.
Football is constantly evolving, and it's funny because, just like even last season, there were some things that we started to incorporate that we hadn't done in a couple of years. So I think it's just the natural evolution of football, and you got to continue to try to find ways to adapt.
Got to find ways to adapt. And why I like that from Matt LaFleur, again, I'm a man of many cliches too, Matt, so no offense when I say that. One of my favorite cliches, one of the things Kyle hears me say all the time, I believe self-awareness is the most important human quality, especially in professional sports. You got to be very self-aware if you're a head coach of an NFL team. And it's clear to me through the last few months that Matt LaFleur is still torn up about what happened in Chicago back in January. He spent a lot of time thinking about the late game collapses that his team went through multiple of under his direction in 2025. And he realizes, okay, I'm good. I'm still employed. I'm still the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. But if we're going to get from good to great, change is necessary. So to hear him say, yeah, we're going to go back to things we haven't done in a few years, I view that as a positive. This is a positive evolution for the Green Bay Packers this offseason. And it might not be super obvious to the bare eye. You've got to listen to things the general manager and head coach say. But if you look at their actions and the way they're speaking the last 3 months, it's clear to me that there is a concerted effort in terms of change happening at Lambeau Field. And this should not be a concern. This should be giving you encouragement. This should encourage you as a Green Bay Packers fan. These guys know what's at stake. Just because they got those comfy extensions doesn't mean jack if you're not winning. Jordan Love in the prime of his career. Micah Parsons in the prime of his career. And you've got a lot of young pieces you feel really good about taking that next step in 2026. Tucker Kraft returns from injury. But look at defense. It's a brand new defense, new defensive coordinator. We could sit here for the next 5 minutes listing off pieces you feel really good about. Evan Williams and Xavier McKinney and Javon Bullard and Edgerrin Cooper. These are all pieces you feel good about taking that next step under a Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator in Jonathan Gannon, who, by the way, will speak to the media for the first time on Monday. I know Jason Wilde's excited about that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's finally going to speak on Monday, tomorrow. I'm
What's the occasion?
All the coordinators are going to speak tomorrow. So
that's great.
2 of which are new, by the way. So that's an evolution of your staff. Now, kind of a messy evolution at special teams coordinator, but it's an evolution nonetheless.
You know what I'm most actually interested in?
What's that?
I mean, Jonathan Gannon, okay, cool. He's a new guy. I'm interested to hear from the offensive coordinator.
Stanovich?
Because there was so much around that this offseason where, we were like, all right, is there going to be any changes made? So I'm interested to see exactly what he has to say about this evolution that the Packers offense are getting ripped down to the studs or going back to day one type stuff.
We got to get to Jason Wilde coming up next, but I do want to hear from you on this if you want to shoot in your comments or your texts on the Cardinals Talking text line, 800-990-3776. Are you noticing an evolution this offseason like I am? Do you care about the evolution? Or is it simply just put up or shut up time for Matt LaFleur? Is that how you view it? And maybe we'll take some calls in the 11 o'clock hour because I am curious. And again, I led the segment with this. I will continue to say this. I am a staunch Matt LaFleur defender. I think he's a really good head coach. I do. I think he has the capability of being a top 5 coach in the NFL. I don't think you can put him there right now after last season. If you look at his overall tenure and his overall career as a head coach, I think you could make a very strong argument. But he's never been to a Super Bowl. And that's going to continue to haunt him and his reputation. So do you notice the evolution? Do you care about an evolution, or is it just put up or shut up time for Matt LaFleur? That's what I want to hear from you on 800-990-3776. You can get your texts in there on the Cardinals Talking text line if you're hanging with us on YouTube. ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison. Give me your opinion on Matt LaFleur as we are here in the middle of the 2026 offseason. Because that is a guy who I know everybody's got an opinion on, and it might be very different than mine. It might be the same as mine. But I'm curious to hear any and all opinions on Matt LaFleur. 800-990-3776 or on the YouTube chats, ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison. All right, Kyle's yelling at me in my ear to go to break. Sorry, Kyle. I know I ran a little late there. Let's get to our buddy Jason Wilde. He's going to join us for the next 2 segments. We will talk all things Packers Rookie Minicamp, Matt LaFleur evolution, and what to expect from Jonathan Gannon at his first press conference coming up tomorrow. That's next. Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Stop buying barbecue rubs that all taste the same.
Most are loaded with sugar, fillers, and shortcuts.
Burn Pit BBQ is not.
We're a veteran-owned company right here in Wisconsin, built on doing things the right way, no shortcuts, no nonsense.
Just premium seasonings that deliver real flavor every time you fire up the grill.
Whether it's a quick dinner or feeding the whole crew, Burn Pit BBQ gives you confidence to get it right.
Burn Pit BBQ, grill with confidence.
Find us at burnpitbbq.com and now at select Walmart locations.
That's burnpitbbq.com.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Hail damage? Siding Unlimited is here to help. We are not the storm chasers. That's important. Siding Unlimited doesn't chase storms. However, if the storm comes into our area like it just did, we're always available to help. Why is that important? Storm chasers skip town, leaving you with a roof with zero warranty. Siding Unlimited uses a roofing system that will get you a 50-year warranty on parts, pieces, and workmanship. Siding Unlimited will be there if you have a call down the road. Siding Unlimited is your local family partner on this project. We're here for you. Siding Unlimited. New roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Call Siding Unlimited or visit sidingunlimited.com today.
The last weekend in June, experience the excitement as the Epson Tour's rising stars compete in the Island Resort Championship at Sweetgrass, the ultimate fan-friendly golf event with great views and chances to meet the next generation of LPGA players. Tickets are $10 and kids get in free. June 26th through the 28th, the Island Resort Championship at Sweetgrass. For tournament details and to explore our premier golf destination, visit islandresortgolf.com today.
One of the most important concepts in sports is don't drop the ball. Are you dropping the ball with your estate plan? When was it last updated? Have you even done one at all? It's ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde for Walney Legal Group. There's a lot at stake for you and your family when it comes to wills, trusts, probate, and elder planning. At Walney Legal, that's all they do. Tailored documents. No confusing legal jargon. Just thoughtful guidance. Do the blocking and tackling to protect your family. Start a conversation today at walneylegal.com.
Mark Tauscher here, and you know I love a smart play from the pocket. That's why I joined UW Credit Union. With their mobile banking app, I can make smart plays from anywhere. And with rewards checking perks like early payday, I score my money sooner. Stop by any of their local branches or visit uwcu.org to join and make the smart play by becoming a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
Hi, Hi, this is Leanne Womack. I fell in love with country music as a child listening to my dad spin records at a radio station. I always dreamed of hearing my own songs on the radio. I set a goal and achieved it. You can do anything if you set your mind to it. Never let anyone tell you it's impossible. So if you have the chance to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance.
This message brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Hey, it's Brian Balaga. Find the Homer Hour on the ESPN Wisconsin app today.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Sunday Karma continues. ESPN Wisconsin. Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace with you today. I know Craig Karmazin or Greg Scales. I believe they will both return next Sunday. We'll have a full crew.
So you say.
Well, I'll find out together, won't we? Joining us now, as he does each and every Sunday at 10:30, is the three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, the co-host of Wilde and Tausch weekdays from 9 to noon on ESPN Wisconsin, and a big-time believer of the Yuengling Jason Wilde guest hotline. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America, now officially in Wisconsin. DG Yuengling and Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly. Jason Wilde joining us on the Yuengling guest hotline. Good morning, Jason.
Guys, how are you?
Life is good, buddy. How are you?
I am just excited for tomorrow.
Yeah, I shot you a text that didn't even get a response. That's how excited you were. I said, and I quote, "Holy bleep, they're going to let Gannon speak." Jonathan Gannon will meet with the media for the first time.
Profanity. I don't respond to profanity. Well, so you got come on, keep it a little.
I don't
PG,
mean
man.
I don't mean to throw you under the bus, but you're one to utilize profanity quite a bit.
I don't know about quite a bit. I try to use it responsibly and when it's really needed, as opposed to you, who's just superfluous about it. But yeah, Jonathan Gannon, can't wait to speak with him.
What's the first question?
Well, I don't know. I don't ever ask the first question.
What's your first question?
I don't know. It depends on what the other questions are.
You are really making this difficult. What are you most curious to find out?
Well, first of all, I think Bill Huber always likes to be the wedge buster, so we usually give him the honor of asking the first question, and he always does it very eloquently. I would say there's a couple things. I mean, first of all, we don't know anything about him. Like, we have some of the track record, obviously, of his time as a defensive coordinator in Philly. So I'm sure we're going to want to ask questions about how he sees Javon Hargrave fitting what they want to do. So that'll be part of it. I'm sure that we'll want to talk about, just exactly does he see, we've spent time now that we found out it's a 3-4 base. What exactly does that mean to him? How often do you like to be in base? How do things change for guys that have now, Lucas Van Ness, for example, rookie year, 3-4, second and third years, 4-3, now back in a 3-4. And I'm hoping he can give me the same condescending speech as I got from LaFleur about how the outside linebackers become defensive ends when you're in the sub package. But there's a lot that, I think there's a lot that we want to get to. We'll see how much time we have with him. I would hope that by now he should have done about 3 press conferences. So my hope is that we will get the equivalent in terms of time. I think that's probably unlikely. But, yeah, there's a lot to get to with him. I think the biggest thing for me, and if I get the opportunity, since I'm so bad at jumping questions the way others are so good at, is, I remember when you went to Philly and you were doing your interview for that defensive coordinator job, and Nick Sirianni asked you, what scheme do you run? And your response was, I don't have a scheme. Can you help us understand? Because I think Hafley was similar in this way, what your thought process is and how you match up what you do with the personnel you have, and does that change significantly week to week, or is it more just an overarching, okay, here's what I have, here's how I want to run things based on the people that I have?
Yeah, I'm very curious what this defense looks like, and I think Brian Gutekunst is too, given that drafted and free agency a ton of defensive players. So he's stocking the cupboard full for a Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator who he hopes can be the difference here in 26.
Yeah, and look, I mean they sort of stocked the cupboard, right? I mean, they obviously signed 2 defensive free agents, right? In Benjamin St. Juste.
Yeah, Kyle's favorite player.
And Javon Hargrave.
Juice.
And then they traded for another one.
Yep.
In Zaire Franklin. And then they only drafted 6 guys. So, but yeah, 2/3 of the class are defensive players. And then one is an offensive player and one's a specialist. So yeah, it'll be, again, obviously I'm sure that Gannon, since he was hired, which we forget, I think, on January 28th, I'm sure he was part of all those conversations, right? Like Goody went into free agency and went into the draft knowing at least what Jonathan Gannon had in mind in terms of personnel.
We are joined by Jason Wilde right now on the Yingling Guest Hotline. Yingling officially available in Wisconsin.
Jason, my biggest thing is I know you want to talk to JG or Jonathan Gannon. I think people call him JG. And my big thing is I want to know what Adam Stenavich has to say, because this offseason there was a lot of controversy around, whether or not Matt LaFleur was going to move on from him. Now, that may not have actually impacted him because that was us talking, not insiders talking. But I am very curious to know, what are some of the questions you think that Adam Stenavich is going to have to answer about what this offense will look like next season, especially now with you having 3 top guys at the wide receiver position, it looks like?
Yeah, I think that's got to be the starting point, Kyle. I'm glad you brought that up first. Like, I think we have to, and I asked, I don't know if you guys played it on your show, but I know Demoski used it in his story, and I'm writing something a little bit longer and wanted to talk to more people. But I asked LaFleur, can you basically admit now that despite your best efforts to keep everyone happy, it probably wasn't the right thing to build a wide receiver group where everyone was kind of equal. And, his first words were, it was a problem, right? And then he said, it was a good problem, but too late, you already said it was a problem. And it was, and we all know it was. Otherwise, you would have kept going this way, right? You would have kept these guys that you have moved on from, letting Romeo walk in free agency, trading Dontavion Wicks. And so when I look at kind of where they are, I want to see what that's going to look like. So that'll be one question for Steno. I mean, look, in fairness to Steno, I don't think if he was truly in charge of the offense, it would run the same way as Matt LaFleur runs it, right? All people are different people. So he might, as an old offensive lineman who really likes Josh Jacobs, maybe he'd run the ball more, right? Even more than they already do. He doesn't call the plays. So, I always thought that our conversations, which I think were warranted just because of, how the offense performed. And once we knew that LaFleur was coming back, we didn't really, what were the changes going to be? Turned out they were going to have 2 new coordinators, but one's special teams and one's on defense. But I don't think it's fair to blame Steno for whatever you're unhappy with the offense. I will say that if I was him, it's such a pivotal year for the offensive line. That is a really good offensive line coach. Like, whatever you think of him as a coordinator, whatever opinions you have of him, their offensive lines, Bulaga will tell you, like, he knows what he's talking about. He may not be as experienced as James Campen or Tausch's old guy, Larry Bechtel, but he's a really good line coach. And so, is he going to be a little more involved with the offensive line this year, given how pivotal the season is? And then, to me, the biggest question, and you guys probably heard me ask LaFleur this last Saturday as the draft wrapped up, and he kind of gibberished me with his answer. But he said, a year 1 approach to the offense. What the hell does that mean? Because then he said, well, we kind of do it every year. And, well, okay, but that's not what you said in Arizona. You said it was going to be a year 1 approach the offense. So what exactly, like, are you going, because I asked the follow-up, which I'm sure Tausch would be proud of, that, are you going to go back to basics and some of the things you did your first couple years? Like, and again, I don't think we got a real clear picture on what he meant that to mean, but we'll have to wait and see how it looks once. But I'm hoping that Steno, who has a tendency to maybe be a little more open in his answers, has some answers for us.
I want to get back to LaFleur and Goody and the evolution, which I just talked about in the last segment. We'll talk about that with you coming up next. But real quick, Cam McCord is the new special teams coordinator. You haven't talked to him either, right? And he's speaking tomorrow?
Cam Acord, like a hole, Acord. Yeah, I by the way, I learned that too, so I'm not picking on you. I was corrected on that as well on the air. Yeah, we haven't talked to him either.
What are you curious to learn from him?
I am curious, first of all, what he knows or what his history is with Rich Bisaccia.
I was just about to ask about
that. Had him on his list.
Yeah.
And then, how are things going to be different? Like, I kind of want to, I don't know him at all. Obviously, I don't have a rapport with him like I have with the existing coaches. But one of the things I want to say to him and I want to figure out how I want to say it is, this job seems like one of the worst jobs in football because no matter how good you are as a coach, for whatever reason, it's always a frustration for the fans, sometimes for the head coach. Why are things going to be different with you running the special teams? So those are on the to-do list. Whether or not I get to all of them, it's pretty competitive in there to get your questions in.
No kidding. Jason Wilde is with us on the England Guest Hotline for another segment. We will dive into our Matt LaFleur conversation with Jason Wilde's thoughts. That's coming up next on Sunday Karma.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on May 12th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they play the San Diego Padres.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in May 12th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee or check your local listings to watch the game.
Meet Jim and Rita.
We went on a motorcycle trip.
But somewhere in Wyoming, Jim and Rita were in a serious accident.
They blocked off the interstate and everything and took us to the hospital.
Sometime later, Rita made a discovery.
She had noticed that the bracelet was gone. And I asked the trooper, is there a chance we can go out there and see if it's still there?
And amazingly,
he found a couple of pieces.
It was only 2 tiny links of the bracelet.
Jim was determined to buy Rita another bracelet from Kessler's.
And I had my checkbook in my hand.
But when he arrived there,
and I said, okay, how much? And she says, that's part of our warranty.
Jim and Rita discovered the Kessler's miraculous, no small print warranty.
It's just amazing that you guys do this.
And it's true.
If you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed. It's just that simple.
It surely is miraculous.
Read the Kessler's miraculous, no small print warranty yourself at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Progressive knows you think the grass is always greener. Like maybe you ride a motorcycle. But today, it's raining. So you wish you had an RV. But if you did, you'd have to listen to some guy parked next to it at a campsite plays acoustic guitar. Now, before you start wishing you had a boat, remember, your brother-in-law would invite himself every weekend.
Permission to come aboard, Captain?
But one thing that is greener is the money you could save when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Why DIY your frozen pizza toppings when Screamin' Sicilian already went over the top for you? We're talking whole milk mozzarella, heaps of premium meats, a mountain of veggies. Screamin' Sicilian is frozen pizza stacked, no add-ons needed.
Mamma mia!
Screamin' Sicilian.
so loaded with toppings, it's almost cheating. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer section and taste what all the screaming is about.
May is here, which means your house is officially done hiding under snow, and now you can see everything it needs. Good news, Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help. Upgrade to energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath remodel, and get $3,000 off your project. Think of it as spring cleaning, but way more impressive. That's $3,000 in instant savings during our May savings event, but it won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
At Saturn Lounge, we know if your marketing actually worked, you would know. Your website would perform. Your storytelling would inspire. Your campaigns would deliver leads that become sales. You wouldn't need a report to tell you. Visit SaturnLounge.com today. When marketing works, it shows.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
See the best of ESPN Milwaukee by subscribing to our YouTube channel.
What the hell happened to your hair?
What do you mean?
Yeah, the front is fine, but you look like Lloyd Christmas in the back. Right there, just stay still. Oh my God, YouTube.
ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Sunday Karma rolls on. Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace, Jason Wilde with us on the Yuengling guest hotline. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America, now officially in Wisconsin. DG Yuengling & Sons, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly. All right, Jason, before you joined us, I was talking about this seemingly pretty obvious evolution from Brian Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur over the course of the last. For Goody, I would date it back to the Micah Parsons trade, and for LaFleur, I would say this offseason, the way he's been speaking, and you referenced some of the things I referenced last segment, the quote in Arizona about, kind of ripping the offense down to the studs, going back to a year one offense. He spoke on Friday and mentioned that he's been spending a lot more time in other rooms than the quarterback room when asked a question about Kyle McCord, one of the guys competing for the backup quarterback job. And then you referenced as well some of the different approaches this offseason when it comes to the rookie camp and some of the mini camp and some of that stuff. And I think this evolution is a signal that they understand they've been good, not great. And despite the contract extensions, they realize that the championship windows in the NFL do not last long. And this is a team that has made the postseason 3 years in a row. They're the only team in the NFC North to do that. And they've got to capitalize on it now. So that's why Goody's signing 30-year-olds and Matt LaFleur is spending more times with the offensive line or the wide receiver room than he is quarterbacks. I think this is all a good thing. And I think Matt LaFleur is a really good coach. But to take a change in approach seems to me like it's a signal of, hey, we've been good, not great, and we're going to do whatever it takes to get us there this offseason.
Letting that a little bit too far.
Go on.
So go ahead is the Taushism on our show. I think you're right to a degree. I am very curious to see just how different things are, though, right? Like, okay, so far Matt LaFleur hasn't spent as much time in the quarterback room. Maybe that's not a change in philosophy. Maybe that's, his quarterback's coach now is Luke Getsy, who has done it multiple times, who's a lot more experienced than Sean Mannion. Maybe that's part of it, right? We have to at least allow for that to be a factor. Sure. Goody, with his approach, with adding some guys that are 30 years old, intriguing. I think his draft approach really was more influenced by the fact that he just didn't think this was a very good draft, and I think his actions kind of supported that position. The offense down to the studs thing or whatever, he never actually said that. That was kind of my interpretation. He said year one approach, but he's, again, until I see what exactly that means, I mean, if it's going to be, hey, we're going to put Jordan under center more and we're going to run true play action, which is the bedrock of this offense's success. I mean, I don't know how I managed to come across a Kyle Shanahan press conference after the draft, but I did, and that was one of the things he was talking about was how important play action is and how they have to do a better job with that. So that I thought was intriguing. But again, the fact of the matter is it like Joe Philbin once said so eloquently, it's not about Jimmys and Joes. It's not about X's and O's. It's about Jimmys and Joes. And I don't care what you run. Your guys have to execute it. And I look back on last season when they lose Kraft, and obviously Christian Watson elevates when he comes back from the knee injury. But they don't have Jaden Reed, who obviously they believe is an important part of their offense, right? Otherwise, you don't pay him. And they don't have Zach Tom after the Denver game, while we're all talking about how they didn't have Micah Parsons, and rightfully so. And I just thought the functionality of their offense, everyone goes back and goes, oh, God, they were so good at the start of that Bears playoff game. Yeah, you're right, they were. But you know what? That was actually the part of the game, that was actually the outlier, I thought, right? Like that, we hadn't seen their offense function that way for a while. And so I was more surprised by that than I was by the 4 straight empty possessions where they managed 1 first down thereafter to start the second half. So, I'm eager to see what Matt LaFleur, and I'd love to talk to him a little more extensively about what this exactly entails. But the bottom line is that they think they've got enough really good players. I still disagree vehemently with Goody in his view of how he sees this roster in terms of its depth. But if their offense, they did not have guys elevate when they needed them to, right? Everyone seems to say, oh, poor Matthew Golden, he didn't get enough opportunities. After Reed goes down, there was ample opportunity for him. And you've heard me talk about the quote from Love about how much he's really, really improved his route running later in the season. Well, that means it wasn't good enough early in the season. Luke Musgrave, when Tucker Kraft gets hurt, he was drafted ahead of Tucker Kraft. Like, he did not elevate his game to the degree that they needed him. And these guys are all competitors. They care about it. So it's not like they weren't trying, but unless they have either A, incredible health all season long, or B, develop some guys that are going to be able to rise up, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Like, we talked about it during the draft coverage that we did. Like, do you really, like, I don't want to sound like Pete Doherty and how he asked the question of LaFleur and Goody, but do you really think you can count on Marshawn Lloyd to be your number 2 running back? Like, yeah. I hope you can. It'd be great for him.
I do too. That was a draft pick, Jason, not to cut you off, but just on Marshawn Lloyd. On Marshawn Lloyd, that was a draft pick a few years ago, the 24 draft, that I was really excited about, because they've seemingly done a really good job, maybe A.J. Dillon aside, with drafting running backs, it feels, right? Dating back to Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones. Lou Nichols obviously didn't.
Ted, but yeah.
I know it was Ted, but Lou Nichols didn't catch on as a 7th-round pick. A.J. Dillon had a good season or two, but then it was kind of downhill from there.
A.J. Dillon did a great job of marketing himself.
Yes. Quadzilla couldn't find his feet.
You love that line. I just and he's a good dude. He's embraced Wisconsin, but the reality is that if he had played like the 2nd-round pick that he was, I mean, think about how many people killed Eddie Lacy. Eddie Lacy had a pair of 1,100-yard seasons as a 2nd-round pick. I mean, again, I like AJ. We did Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin event together. Like, I think he is a really likable guy, but he needed to be more productive, because if he's more productive, they don't even have to sign Josh Jacobs. Now, I am a huge Josh Jacobs guy. I think people that are down on him, it's ridiculous. But again, we've talked about this so many times. The free agency signings that the Packers have, those only occur because you missed on draft picks and high draft picks, right? I mean, I always think that this guy's another guy that gets kind of an unfair rap. But like, Josh Myers started like 50-some games for these guys.
Yeah.
But as a second-round pick, you're supposed to feel good enough about him that you want him still. And instead, they could not. Like, he got pennies on the dollar from the Jets. And then, by the way, played really well and earned like a real contract extension from them. So, again, I'm very eager to watch this season unfold and see at what level some of these guys that they are counting on to be reliable, trustworthy backups play at, because I love their front line group, except for their offensive line. I have no idea what that group's going to be like, and it starts with Jordan Morgan. I have major questions with him and how good he is.
Sure.
If he's good, I think they're going to be fine. If he's not, I think they got some real problems up front.
I tend to agree, but we will see. We've got a couple months to see if they can get the most out of some of those guys they were expecting to get the most out of. Jacob Monk comes to mind at the offensive line. A.J. Dillon, best year was 2021, his second season, 187 carries, 803 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 770 and 7 touchdowns in 22. So he was decent to good at points.
In his role, I think the year, it was the year, what was it? Was it 23? I think it was 23, where Aaron Jones pops his hamstring in Chicago in like the opener, and he misses like 6 weeks. And there's every opportunity for AJ to become the man, and that was the moment. Like, if he does it there, I mean, they let Aaron Jones walk in free agent, or they release Aaron Jones like they did, and then he's the guy. And instead, I think he averaged like 3.2 yards a carry or whatever after he replaced him as the starter, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, and it was an unfortunate timing thing too. I made the joke before. He released his child's book in 2023, the summer of 23. Quadzilla Finds His Footing by A.J. Dillon. And then that season, he just never found his footing. It's an unfortunate joke that writes itself.
Yeah, but it'll be on your children's bookshelf when you and your lovely wife procreate.
What an awkward end to this conversation. Jason?
Procreate.
Come on, I'm gonna send you the book. Well, I didn't want to. We got into some other. The last time I even mentioned her, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not overstepping here, because we suggested you won the lottery and you ought to get your coverage.
Well, that I agree with.
He did.
That I agree with.
Yeah, no, I think we all. We don't need you to agree with that.
That's fair.
Jason, I get married in less than 2 months.
You're less than 2 months away. What's the date?
Well,
Kyle's a private guy. He doesn't share those things. Let's just put it this way.
You don't even share the date? I didn't ask you, like, the location or her social security number.
It's at the end of
photos of you guys as a couple.
It's towards the back end of June.
Yeah, you really are a private guy.
Jason,
you are a fascinating
Jason,
character.
let me tell you
really
something.
Are.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you really quickly. So I made a phone call
good.
because I needed to have something snaked at my house. And so I
snaked as in a toilet?
Yeah, something like that. And so I needed to have something snaked at my house, and I made a phone call.
He's so private, he won't even tell you what he had to have snaked.
What'd you have snaked?
I need a bathtub snake.
Okay.
And so I need to have something snaked. And so I made a call to the company that I usually work with to get stuff when I need it. And they said, hey, it's the weekend. Well, we're just a call center. We'll have somebody call you. So they're going to have somebody call me. Somebody calls me, and they're like, hey, did you call to get a snake service? I said, I did. He said, is this Kyle Wallace? I said, yeah. He said, is this Kyle Wallace from The Truth? I said, indeed it is. He said, bro, I love listening to your show and all that. So now, the man,
you're gonna
who
come out of your shell a little bit? Is
well,
that what you're gonna do?
Well, I mean,
a little bit?
No,
now
I
there may
think
be a listener at my house.
Now he feels uncomfortable that somebody that listens to him on the radio is doing work at his house because he's an awkward guy.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool.
That's awesome.
It was awesome with the impact, but he was like, yeah, it might be me or one of my crew members, but we'll see. I was like, all right then. That's what's up. I love it. But I mean, also it's like, that's, I try to stay low key.
Okay. Well, I understand you value your privacy, and I will respect that. But Mazel Tov for you and your lovely.
She's not Jewish,
and,
nor am I. I'm just kidding.
I know, but I'm not either. But I know. I can still use
just
it.
a frame of speech, Kyle.
Mazel Tov.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go now.
Yeah, that's a good idea. By the way, I just want to point out before you go, Jason, that Kyle's the one that brought up he was getting married, and then he got weird about it.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a very fair point. Congratulations to both of you on your happy lives.
Thank you.
And your soon-to-be happy wives.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And thank you to you for your time this morning on Sunday Karma.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
The great Jason Wilde on the England Guest Hotline. You can catch Jason each and every weekday with the Packers Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion Mark Tauscher at 9 a.m. until noon across these very stations. All right, we've got a ton of texts on Matt LaFleur that I want to get to. Some people agreeing with me, some people disagreeing with me. I love that. If you're just joining us, effectively what I'm saying is I think Matt LaFleur is a really good football coach. Last year was not his best year. We can all agree on that. Certainly some fumbles, and certainly the injuries didn't help. But I think extending him is the right decision, and I am impressed to see him out loud admitting some philosophy changes and some different things in terms of a natural evolution that he needs to get this team from good to great. And I think this is going to be very helpful for the 2026 Green Bay Packers. So no matter how you feel on Matt LaFleur, I'd be curious to hear from you on the Cardinals Talking text line. Phone line's now open now that Jason departs. 800-990-3776 is your way in. 800-990-3776. Or you can text in your thoughts, same number, on the Cardinals Talking text line. Or you can comment on YouTube, ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison. See some comments rolling in there as well in the Matt LaFleur conversation. So we will continue the Matt LaFleur conversation coming up next. Brewers in the 11 o'clock hour. Our Palermo's picks as well. That is all still ahead. Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
When your team needs custom gear, don't wing it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and More is your local partner for high-quality apparel with hands-on design help and services that actually feel, well, helpful. For your business, teams, or events, Big Frog makes it easy. Visit bigfrog.com/Mequon today.
Turn those hoop dreams into reality with Precision Sports, your one-stop shop in southeastern Wisconsin for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator basketball hoop systems, installation of new or old hoops, and completely customizable painted court lines. Precision Sports Online.com.
It all started with a small storefront and a big promise. Treat every customer just like family. For decades, local families have trusted Sendix to provide the freshest food, the warmest smiles, and a place where community comes first. From generation to generation, we have grown together. Because Sendix is more than just a grocery store. It's home. Thank you for allowing us to serve you for the past 100 years. Here's to the next 100 years. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Legacy? Yingling, 197 years family owned. That's elite. But legends evolve. Meet Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Just 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, and it actually tastes like beer. Crisp, clean, goes the distance. No regret in a can here. Your beer should keep up with you. Flight's putting up MVP numbers in the light beer game. The other guys on the bench. Wisconsin, level up. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
This is Wisconsin basketball head coach Greg Gard. This is 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD2, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
More Sunday Karma coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin. Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace hanging out with you. Thanks to Jason Wilde for joining us on the England Guest Hotline. Everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. Though I will say, and I said this last week, the NFL draft just makes me really itch for football. And we're not going to have football for several months. Still about 2.5 months away. 2.5 months away from the start of training camp, the end of July. Hopefully it flies by. But I miss my Sundays being filled with NFL football from noon until 11 p.m.
Yeah, the Bucs didn't give us a first-round exit this year, so we don't have any sadness to
I've enjoyed watching the Brewers. Watched a lot of Brewers baseball recently, but
I've been so sick. I just been literally laying down, going to bed.
They're a fun team. They just can't catch a break in the injury front.
Yeah, yesterday with the Miz, so what happened? Cramps?
Last Friday, yeah. So that's what we assume.
Miz was Friday?
Yeah.
Who pitched yesterday?
Harrison.
Oh, wow. Shows you I just been out of it.
Yeah, clearly. So Thursday was Woody. Friday night was Miz. Back-to-back nights with the Brewers starting pitcher exiting the game with, I want to say injury adjacent, because a cramp and a dead arm doesn't really qualify, I guess.
Dead arm and cramps. Give me cramps.
But Friday night's game, Misiorowski had a no-hit bid going.
Yeah.
Before he exited the game. And they were unable to pull off the combined no-hitter, but a combined two-hitter as Aaron Ashby goes 2 2/3 innings, gives it both the hits, and then it was Easton McGee.
Who is that?
Who came in to close the game. He's a pitcher that's bounced back and forth a lot this year.
Okay.
And it wasn't a save opportunity, so they didn't throw Uribe out there. But Easton McGee has been optioned back this morning to AAA Nashville as they bring Logan Henderson back up.
Yeah, to start today.
Yeah. So, hey, a win's a win, and the Brewers have been winning 17-14, so you'll take that. Expected to get Jackson Chourio back tomorrow. Expected to get Andrew Vaughn back tomorrow.
So is he still coming back despite having the ball hit off his foot yesterday and exiting the game? Was that just precautionary?
I am unaware, but as far as I'm aware, I know he was posting about it, but you're right, that did happen yesterday, so that could change things, but I would hope not. As the Brewers have won 3 in a row now with a series finale out in Washington, D.C. coming up in about an hour and a half, 12:35 first pitch.
I just want to get more NL games coming up. Now we got the Cardinals coming up here. So I just want to get more of these NL games in the NL Central.
NL Central games, that is, yeah. St. Louis is coming up, Chicago in a couple of weeks, Monday the 18th through Wednesday the 20th, down at Wrigley, and then right after that series is the Dodgers. It's the Cubs and Dodgers back-to-back.
Yeah.
And then you get the Cardinals again right after that. So, yeah. Getting some NL Central work in here before the end of the month, which is good. But let's get back to the Green Bay Packers and Matt LaFleur, because it seems like most people actually disagreeing with me than agreeing with me on Matt LaFleur. Steve on the text line says, "Come on, Strouf, stop being such a homer. This Packers team has few players that are difference makers, a coach that's soft, and a GM that drafts few, if any, great players. Titletown has become entitled town. Stop accepting mediocrity and start demanding excellence." Steve O in SoCal. Steve, I agree with you in terms of some of those points. I think this isn't accepting mediocrity. Accepting mediocrity would be missing the play. Like, they are making the playoffs. It's been a playoff team 3 years in a row in a new era, right? They started from scratch at the end of the Aaron Rodgers era after they missed the playoffs. Jordan Love has never missed the playoffs as the starting quarterback of this team. Now, was last year underwhelming post Micah Parsons injury? Of course. But you talk about few players that are difference makers. And again, I hate making excuses, but this is the one year where I think if you look at injuries, it was a true difference maker. When you lose your best offensive lineman in Zach Tom, you lose your best pass catching option in Tucker Kraft, and you lose by far your best player in Micah Parsons. He is the true field tilter on this team. He is the best player on this team, Micah Parsons, and he went down in Week 14. You were the second seed in the NFC when he went down.
Bro,
you were winning at halftime in that game in Denver that Kyle was at.
No, you're missing also. You lost your best 2 defensive linemen. How many teams can lose their top 2 defensive linemen and actually make a run? Devontae Wyatt was clearly the number 2 defensive lineman for this team.
Like, and he was having another good season when he went down.
Yeah, so you lost quite a bit because in a team that already didn't have great depth, you had guys like Lucas Van Ness and Rashawn Gary who weren't living up to the expectations that were bestowed upon them. And so when you had the only two guys that are living up to expectations, that's a problem.
Here's Tony on the text line, and I see we got some calls rolling in, so if you want to get in that way, 800-990-3776. Matt says, totally agree with your take on Matt LaFleur. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Being self-aware enough to make a change is the right move, even if it does not end in results. Well, it better end in results, or else it didn't work. Tony chimes in, it's put up or shut up time. LaFleur needs to be more clutch and demand his players to be more clutch. 1 playoff win in 4 years is not enough. Knocked out twice at home in the playoffs as the 1 seed with a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback. Nobody cares about injuries. Just win, baby. Quoting Al Davis there, of course. Yeah, that's fair. The injury part, it's definitely prevalent this year. But of course, you could say, well, they were the most injured team in football last time they won the Super Bowl, which is also true. But at least they had a lot of their clutch players, if we want to use that word. Woodson goes down in the Super Bowl, but Woodson and Jordy and Rodgers were all healthy. But they pieced together a fine offensive line, including our buddy Brian Bulaga, who had to step in for Tauchi. You got James
First
Starks.
round pick.
Yeah,
stepping in.
Right. The youngest player ever to start in the Super Bowl. All right, let's go to Gary. Gary drives semi-truck. Is that what that says? My call screener's down, but I think I can read it from the phone. Gary, is it? Gary, you're on Sunday Karma, ESPN, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
What do you got, Gary?
Yeah, how's it going, Meatball?
Long time no talk, Gary. How you been?
Now listen, I did not mean that in a negative way. Okay. But anyways,
go on.
I don't think Green Bay is going to see a Super Bowl as long as LaFleur is the head coach, unless he really turns around and starts turning into a butt kicker, because there's too many times, there's been too many penalties, and the reporters ask him what's up with that, and he said, that's on me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's on you. Change it. And he hasn't changed it.
Joe Jackson. He wants to be Joe Jackson.
It's on me.
Well,
you know what I mean?
You know who Joe Jackson is, Gary?
Yes.
Yeah.
And my daddy must have been his best friend, because my daddy talked one time, and I picked myself up off the floor.
Yep. See?
So that's the deal.
Well,
yes.
Gary, before we let you go, do you believe Matt LaFleur is capable of being said butt kicker? Do you think he has it in him?
I don't know.
Okay.
I honestly don't know.
So
I'd like to think he does.
Same.
But you know.
So are you happy they brought him back? Are you happy he got the contract extension, or would you have liked to see them move on?
No, I'd like to see them move on.
Okay. I don't.
See if they could get somebody like Rex Ryan or Herm Edwards out of retirement. Hey,
Rex
but if you think about it, if they could have pulled that off,
Gary,
look what they'd have had.
Gary,
Come on,
Rex Ryan.
Look at the first two games.
Rex Ryan.
Look at the first two games last year with the defense. That's what they were capable of when they were worried about their jobs. But then when they saw they had a soft coach, they kind of slacked off. Yeah, they were still decent, but not like the first two games.
9-3-1, Gary. 9-3-1.
They could have been better. That one wouldn't have been a one if
that's
true.
Should have been 10-3
if you had a. Yeah,
that I agree
at
with
least.
I agree with you. All right, Gary. I appreciate the call as always. Good to talk to you, Meatball. I haven't talked to Gary in a while.
Yeah, you too, but
he's the man. One of the great laughs.
Having a Gary laugh today.
One of the great laughs
in
sports talk radio is Gary, the semi truck driver.
Hey,
So,
I love what his daddy was talking about too. Your daddy need to do that to you.
No, so I got in school suspension once. I got in a fight on the bus, and when he got that phone call, let's just say he was not thrilled.
Did you had to pick yourself off the floor?
I did have to pick myself up.
Good job.
Yeah.
Now he should have did it when he saw you acting all stupid on the basketball court.
No, my dad was like my biggest fan in basketball.
Well, your dad clearly doesn't know ball.
He was not a hoops player. He's a tennis player. So he was never my coach.
When you say tennis player, you mean like he played tennis? Like, was he a varsity letter?
No. 4-year varsity letter. Hadn't offered to play in college, but went to because he became a cop. He went to technical school instead.
Had an offer where?
It wasn't a big school. It might have been like Lakeland University or something like that. So it was somewhere in the area.
And how many kids went to his high school?
Well, it is no longer. I don't know if we could look that up. That school doesn't exist anymore.
Well, yeah, I always have to dig deep with you because you say things. He was a 4-year varsity letter. Yeah, a 4-year varsity letter when there's only a varsity
conference champ
team.
A couple of times. We went through some of his stuff at my grandpa's house. It was the last time he was in town, so probably over a year ago. But yeah, he was good. According to them, I mean, I wasn't alive, obviously, so I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Well, I can't question your father. You, on the other hand, always.
Here you go. So the last time this high school was open, it had just under 600 students.
Okay. Well, that's a lot. Okay. Okay.
But it's been closed down for a while. It is now Two Rivers High School. It used to be Washington High School in Two Rivers, Wisconsin.
And Two Rivers High School is small.
It is smaller than it used to be, yes.
Okay, so competition might have been a little bit
It might have been. I don't know, man. He graduated high school, I got to do math now, in the late 80s.
Okay.
So 89, I think he would have graduated.
Oh, wow, you got young parents.
I mean.
Parents out of college by then.
Yeah. My mom's a few years older. But yeah.
Damn, my parents had my brother before that.
All right, more about LaFleur talk coming up next. Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Tiara from Events by Design here. We were thrilled to work with Thanasis Antetokounmpo on Thanalysis Live.
Welcome to the stage, Nature Boy, Rick Flair!
Events by Design, a proud partner of Thanalysis.
Mr. Pat Murphy!
Events by Design. We design, you party.
You ever notice how pain slowly stops being something you have and starts feeling like something you are? That's not how it's supposed to be, and it doesn't have to stay that way. Hey, it's Ben Brust, and there's a team right here in Mequon and Greenfield. Dr. Caravelli and QC Kinetics are helping people break out of that cycle and get back to living life on their terms. If you're dealing with joint pain from arthritis or injury in your knees, hips, or shoulders, they're helping patients get back to moving, sleeping, golfing, running without surgeries or long recoveries. And people who thought they were out of options are finally seeing a path forward. This isn't guesswork. The science is real. The treatments are natural. QC Kinetics works with your body, giving it the tools it needs to heal itself. So picture this, getting through your day without mapping out places to sit, or avoiding stairs altogether, or passing on plans because of pain. Because the longer inflammation lingers, the more damage it can do. Don't wait on this. Take the first step now, and it won't cost you anything to get started. Call QC Kinetics today. 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Josh DiMaggio here for Milwaukee Weight Loss. I've been on this journey since January and have already lost 35 pounds. It's been easy, safe, and their team continued to help me reach my goals. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Results may vary.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. When it comes to a home mortgage, we understand you want a simple, stress-free process, great service, and a loan you can feel good about. And for 90 years, that's exactly how we've been doing things at Great Midwest Bank. So if you're thinking about buying, building, renovating, or refinancing, get started at GreatMidwestBank.com to find a knowledgeable loan officer and get the peace of mind you deserve. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Feels like the world is a little broken lately. Maybe all we need is a fix. Most spirits are acidic. Fix Vodka is different. Fix Vodka is the world's first high alkaline, acid-free vodka. Handcrafted with natural spring water and select grain. Clean, smooth, done right. Better water, better vodka. Get your local Fix.
Fix Vodka.
Enjoy responsibly.
In season, off season, draft season. Whatever season it is, we are Milwaukee's place to talk green and gold. Listen, watch, or stream live whenever, wherever. 94.5 ESPN.
One call, that's all, with Gruber Law Offices. If you or a loved one is ever injured in an accident, you know what to do. Contact Gruber Law Offices, and they will take care of you. I remember I got rear-ended. My back was hurting. I contacted my insurance company. They gave me the runaround. I said, what am I doing? I contacted Gruber Law Offices, and they took great care of me. You never pay a single penny. You never pay a single penny until they win your case. Get with the winning law firm that speaks for itself with all the great results that they have. Gruber Law Offices, that's one call, that's all. Call them today at 414-276-6666. That's 414-276-6666, or visit them at gruber-law.com. It is one call, that's all, with Gruber Law Offices.
Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin. Alex Strouf, Kyle Wallace hanging out with you until noon. A lot of discussion about the Packers' philosophy change, evolution, mindset shift, if you will, this offseason. Just some of the messaging seemingly different to me than it has been past seasons. And
not
look,
just messaging, man. I mean, the direct messaging, but then also the actions, right?
Yeah.
Like even going back to the siloed system that we thought existed, where they went to the American club and they were talking about, how they're all working hand in hand together, right? Like that's exactly what we were told, is that when that policy came away from that, he said, yeah, I just wanted to make sure moving forward everybody was aligned, right? And to me, this seems like a lot of alignment since then, does it not? Based off the signings, based off the draft picks, based off a need. Like, I think this organization is definitely aligned, because all of a sudden you got two guys that you sign are either almost 30 or over 30.
Yeah, I'm with you. So I'm curious to see how this translates. But look, I know there's a lot of talk, and there has been since the playoff loss. It was an unacceptable loss, regardless of the injuries. That's not the excuse for that game. It can't be. That was a game the Packers failed to win. The defense couldn't stop a nosebleed in the second half, specifically the fourth quarter. They were gassed. The offense couldn't move the ball, specifically in the third quarter. I don't think they had a single first down in the third quarter. Brandon McManus couldn't make a kick to save the season. There were a lot of issues in that game alone that are unrelated to the injuries that this team suffered prior. But that's the good news, right? They were in a position to win a playoff game despite all the injuries. And if you put Micah Parsons and Zach Tom and Devontae Wyatt and Tucker Kraft on the field this season, like, I have really high expectations for this team. So it's not just, hey, the evolution shift, the messaging is different, what they're doing is different. That's great. I'm not happy with just that. I'm excited to see what it brings. But the expectation for the Green Bay Packers has to be Super Bowl or bust in 2026. And we should view everything through that lens throughout the 2026 season. So if they're not leading the division come week 11, they're underperforming. If they don't win the NFC North, that's a disappointment. That's an underperformance in 2026. Despite this being a very good division, the expectation has to be Green Bay has to win the NFC North. Chicago's playing a first-place schedule, and they caught a lot of really good breaks. And props to them. I think it was 6 come-from-behind wins in the fourth quarter.
Hell, 2 against us.
Right. It might have been 7, I guess, counting the playoff win. I think it was 6 in the regular season, 7 total. And that is unheard of. It was an NFL record. It was very, very impressive. The reality is you can't expect that season every season, right? You can't just expect that that's the Chicago Bears' identity as they play crap football for 3 quarters and then figure it out in the fourth. I expect them to be a good team again. I expect them probably to be in the playoff race again. Same with Detroit. I expect them to be a good team again. I expect them to be in the playoff race again. I'm very curious what Minnesota is, because on paper they have a very good roster, but they were not able to figure out the quarterback position last year, and that ruined them. Is Kyler Murray set for a revival with Justin Jefferson at his disposal and Jordan Addison, who they just picked the 5th-year option up on? So I think all 4 of these teams, again, could be winning teams. Minnesota was 9-8 last year. So, but all that said, the expectation for the Green Bay Packers has to be Super Bowl or bust, or at least at the very minimum back in the NFC Championship game. They have to win the North. They have to get a home playoff game. They got to win some playoff games. And hopefully you're healthier than you were, especially when you're, in terms of your best players, than you were a year ago. If Jordan Love, Micah Parsons, Tucker Kraft, Zach Tom, those guys stay healthy, and hopefully Christian Watson and Jaden Reed, like if those guys are healthy, the expectation doesn't change then. Injuries are a part of the sport. The Packers caught a really bad break in terms of injury last year. It was some of their most productive best players. So the hope is you don't have to experience that again. Jordan Love is another season under his belt, and I thought he was awesome last year for the most part. So that's the expectation with Green Bay. It has to be. It's Super Bowl or bust in 2026. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That has to be the expectation. And I think Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst know that. That's what they were talking about while drinking wine and bourbon at the Kohler Lodge. When they all came to the agreement that they'll be back in 2026. It's no more 7 seeds. It's no more barely scooting into the postseason. It's win the division and get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So the way I look at this is how much I want us to win the NFC North. I think the one thing that you said, what matters the most to me, is not just winning the NFC North. It is more so we need to be back in the NFC Championship game.
Sure.
That right there to me.
But you got to win some playoff games is ultimately the point.
No. And so my thing is I understand, and, the journey to get there, you never know what it looks like. Like, you look at the Rams last year. The Rams ended up winning 12 games, 13 games, something like that. I think it was 12 during the regular season. But they ended up making it to the NFC Championship game, right? I wouldn't say that season was a complete failure. I would say they definitely didn't get to their goal. But when I look at it, if the Packers had a season that the Rams had last year, I would be happy. I would be like, okay, we didn't get where we wanted to, but this is a step in the right direction. And so for me, overall, if the Lions end up destroying their schedule, winning 14 games next year, and the Packers win 12 or 13 games, I can't get mad about that. But it is about, regardless of what you do in the NFC North, how that race ends up, you got to be back in the NFC Championship game. That has to be the floor. It has to be the floor because we cannot. You've already been to the divisional round. You've already been to the wild card. We got to get somewhere different. And it has to start this year because at this point now, if you don't make it this year, the clock ticks faster and faster and faster. So now it's time to put up or shut up.
I agree with you on that. Appreciate all your input on the Carbless Talk and Text line 800-990-3776. Liz is more with our friends at Carbless. Tony chimes back in and says, you hit the nail on the head. That playoff loss to Chicago was unacceptable regardless of injury. The same is true as all the playoff losses to San Francisco and Tampa Bay with Aaron Rodgers at the helm. 3 unacceptable playoff losses. Matt LaFleur has to be more clutch. I can agree with that. I think even if I am a believer and a big fan of Matt LaFleur, I think both sides of wherever you land on this Matt LaFleur argument can agree on that. Has to be better. Has to be. 2025 specifically was a rough year for Matt LaFleur because you can think of several games that should have gone the other way. The caller earlier, Gary, the semi-truck driver, brought up the Dallas game where your clock management, you don't understand the situation in overtime, you ultimately ends up in a tie. Unacceptable. The following week, there was the Cleveland Browns loss, one that I viewed as an easy win when we talked about that schedule, and they blow it in the fourth quarter. I do struggle with the one in Chicago, the regular season loss, because Jordan Love exited that game, and I don't think they ever lose if he's healthy that game. I don't know what it was, a dirty hit. And Malik was fine, but it's just you had a bad fumble by Josh Jacobs, all sorts of things in that game. You should have won that game. You didn't, but it is what it is. Sometimes that, like if you have one of those in a season, okay, it happens. But I think there were 3, 4, 5 games last season. Denver's another one, but again, Micah Parsons goes down with an injury. If you want to use that as the excuse, Christian Watson goes down with an injury.
I was on cloud 1,000 when Josh Jacobs caught that touchdown pass.
That was a sick catch, too.
I was celebrating.
That was a sick catch.
I was like, here we go.
Obviously, the Chicago loss in the postseason, unacceptable. So there was a lot of those last year, and that's why I continue to say I just don't think Matt LaFleur had his best year in 25. I think he's a better coach than what we saw last year. So, yeah, he's got to be more clutch. No argument for me on that. I still believe in him as the Packers head coach. All right, Craig Karmazin, off today, but never done telling you about how you should elevate your jump shot like he does with a home court from Precision Sports.
Hey, it's Craig Karmazin. When I think about the most important moments of my life, being born, having a bar mitzvah, having a kid, none of them compare to getting my first basketball hoop. And I've done it multiple times with Precision Sports. They are the experts. They know ball, and they are the ones who can do it. So if you're going to make that life-changing, memorable decision, you're going to put up that hoop, you're going to put up that court, you're going to get the lines done, however you want to do it in the right way with the best. The way I did it, PrecisionSportsOnline.com for a free quote. That's Precision Sports Online, and your jumper is going to be as good as mine in no time.
Thanks, Craig. Coming up next, we talk about the Milwaukee Brewers. They've won 3 in a row, but injuries continue to bite them. Will Jackson Chourio return tomorrow? Who knows? Will Andrew Vaughn return tomorrow? Yes is the answer on that, it sounds like. But pitching, it's good, but the injuries aren't. We talk Milwaukee Brewers baseball coming up next on Sunday Karma.
This is Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
When your team needs custom gear, don't wing it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and More is your local partner for high-quality apparel with hands-on design help and services that actually feel, well, helpful. For your business, teams, or events, Big Frog makes it easy. Visit bigfrog.com/Mequon today.
Heck yeah! It's ESPN Wisconsin's Alex Strouf for Robert Hack Diamonds. 3 locations in the Milwaukee area, 2 in Brookfield, 1 in Greenfield, where I went, to buy my fiance's dream engagement ring. You don't become Wisconsin's most trusted and respected name in diamonds on accident. Robert Hack Diamonds has been in Wisconsin for almost 80 years, serving the Milwaukee area and all of the state with top-notch customer service and all the help you need along the way. I had no idea what I was doing. I knew I got the girl right, but I wanted to get the diamond right too, and Robert Hack Diamonds made sure that happened. If you're looking to take that next step just like I did, there's only one place to go. That's Robert Hack Diamonds, 3 locations in the Milwaukee area. Tell them I sent you, and whether you like me have no idea what you're doing or have a really good idea of what you're doing, go to the best in Wisconsin. You want that day to be special, and you want that ring to be special. They created my fiance's dream engagement ring, and they can create yours too. Visit them online, roberthackdiamonds.com, or in Greenfield or Brookfield. And just like me, you'll leave that store saying, heck yeah, because of Robert Hack Diamonds.
Hi, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Most contractors cut corners and disappear when there's a problem. Not us. Since 1997, we've completed over 60,000 projects, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and were named 2025 Roofing Magazine Contractor of the Year. We set the standard for exterior remodeling. Trusted by homeowners, proven every single day. We're excited to show you why choosing Infinity means peace of mind. Visit infinityexteriors.com to see why your neighbors trust Infinity.
When you work smart, incredible things can happen. By joining Smart 18, the union for Wisconsin sheet metal workers, you'll open the door to a brighter future. You'll learn and earn more. Enjoy awesome benefits across the board. Build a great career and feel empowered and supported every step of the way. The smartest career decision you'll ever make starts with Smart 18. Find out more today at smart18info.com.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
We have standards in Wisconsin. Cheese should squeak. Sports and tailgating go hand in hand with brats aplenty. And beef is a delicacy where each bite makes you close your eyes for a second. For 50 years, Bunzel's has been hand-selecting the finest beef, making homemade specialty sausages, and crafting award-winning jerky right here at home. Because Wisconsin is still cattle country, quality isn't optional. It's expected. And after 5 decades, Bunzel's still delivers. Stop in today at 90th and Burleigh or at bunzels.com.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help.
Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
We are going to grind out at bats. You have to throw quality pitches in order to get us out. And then once we get on the base paths, you have to worry about us. It's a different brand of baseball.
On 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. This is Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Yes, it is. He is Kyle Wallace. I'm Alex Strouf with you until noon this morning on ESPN Wisconsin. Thanks for spending your Sunday morning with us. We really do appreciate you hanging out and listening to us buffoons discuss all things Wisconsin sports. Fun Matt LaFleur conversation. Appreciate all of you who chimed in on that. One way or another, we could disagree. We're all Packers fans at the end of the day. And we're hoping ultimately, I think even if you think I'm wrong, you're hoping I'm right, and Matt LaFleur is capable of winning a Super Bowl in Green Bay. And hopefully it's this year. But we'll all find out together. I do want to pivot, though, over to the Milwaukee Brewers, who have won 3 in a row. Despite the previous 2 games, their pitchers leaving early. Brandon Woodruff on Thursday, Jacob Misiorowski on Friday. Seems like Misiorowski will be fine, but he was pitching unbelievable on Friday night. Had a no-hitter into the 6th inning and then left with what is believed just to be cramps. But, of course, you're going to be precautionary. Take every precautionary measure in the month of May when it comes to your opening day starter. So a 13-1 win on Wednesday, a 6-1 win on Thursday. A 13-1 win Thursday, a 6-1 win Friday, a 4-1 win yesterday. William Contreras has had 4 hits in each of the last 2 games. He is on one right now. One of the best catchers in baseball and probably the best brewer. He is exceptional and playing really well right now. And he's pitched,
great not to have a hand injury, right?
Yeah, right. And he's caught each of the last 7 games in full. He hasn't taken a day off from behind the dish in a week. So props to William Contreras and the heater he's been on. But I guess when it comes to the injuries, obviously Andrew Vaughn and Jackson Chourio opened the season. Well, I guess Andrew Vaughn played opening day. Jackson Chourio did not. They are both hoping to return tomorrow. But Kyle mentioned it earlier. Chourio may have a setback maybe later in the week. But Andrew Vaughn's still on pace to rejoin the Brewers tomorrow for the first time since opening day. So that is the hope for them. Jacob Misiorowski listed his day today. He should be okay when it comes to exiting a start. But the Brewers seemingly getting it back together here. 18-14 now on the season. 4 games over 500. They are just playing in the most competitive division in baseball, where all 5 teams are over 500. That is the only division in baseball in which that is the case. The Brewers, 18-14. They would have the 4th best record in all of the American League. They would be in first place of the AL West. They are in 4th place of the NL Central at 18-14. Cubs 21-12. Cardinals and Reds are both 20-13. As I mentioned, Brewers 18-14. And Pirates also have 18 wins. They've just played more games. They're 18-16 on the season. How are you feeling about the Brewers? We're a little over 30 games in, Kyle. Do you feel good about where this team is at, given that they've survived, they've stayed afloat despite having all these injuries that they've dealt with, whether that be to the Quinn Priesters and the Jackson Chourios and the Andrew Vaughns of the world? They're now going to have to likely deal without Brandon Woodruff. But you feeling okay? I mean, the goal was pretty much stay afloat, stay above water, and they've done that.
No, I feel really great because it's all about who's developing, right? Like looking at Kyle Harrison, that's the type of guy that I want to see continue to develop. I want to see a Brandon Sprout develop. I'm excited for Logan Henderson to be able to come up here because, again, it's still early in the season, and something that we have seen with this Milwaukee Brewers team, they've gotten better as the season has gone on under Pat Murphy, and they've been able to learn. They know how to finish out seasons. And so right now, the fact that they're staying above water before even having to play most of the other NL Central teams, I feel great about it. Again, it's all about developing guys. I don't believe they're going to win a World Series this year, but how can they build for the future? How can guys get ready for the future? The Brewers, to me, right now, when you look at Chad Patrick, you look at Kyle, and you look at Jacob Misiorowski, those are going to be 3 guys guaranteed part of your staff moving forward. Mm-hmm. And they're all pitching well this year, right? And so that's what I'm all about right now is early on how these guys develop, and then eventually, right, when we get guys healthy, when we get guys back, you're missing Christian Yelich, you just talked about Vaughn, you're missing Chourio. When those guys do come back, well, you're going to be, finding your rhythm, doing well. So right now, the fact that the Brewers are playing as well as they are, over 500, I'm happy. Like, I really am confident right now with this team. Now, if we get to July and we're only like 4 games above 500, then I'd be a little bit more concerned, right? Then like, okay, we're playing more 500 baseball. But at this point right now, I feel really good where the Brewers are at because they're going to get on a heater. Like, they're going to go, and the Brewers are going to have a 2-week stretch where they're going to go 10-4. They're going to separate themselves. And then they're going to play more consistent ball where you're not going to see them lose 6 games in a row like that, right?
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
That was the first time they've lost 6 games in a row like that under Pat Murphy, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, it's unusual.
Yeah, it is. But, hey, back on track. And, by the way, apparently yesterday's game is just deleted from my memory. William Contreras did take the day off yesterday. He didn't take the day off. He DH'd. But Gary Sanchez caught yesterday. His 4-hit games were Friday and Thursday. So yesterday, just a blip in the radar for me. I'm all thrown off. It's been a weekend. But
this illness, either I'm resting or I'm going to some event or I'm working. Legitimately.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
I mean, I saved a man's life on Friday night.
You just couldn't hold it, huh?
Well,
you claim I want to hear this story with Ben Bruss because I want him and I to be able to be the ones to actually say whether or not you saved a life. Because when you say you saved a man's life, I
jumped into action. I felt like Superman.
Okay, so that means you were doing CPR. You kissed a man.
I didn't. Whoa.
You had to. I mean, you saved his life, so that means you were doing chest compressions.
I almost did CPR. I did not get to that point. Luckily, he was able to wake up. But,
okay.
But I was on a knee.
Did you administer something to help him wake up?
Just a loud voice.
Okay. Yeah, we gonna break this down on Kyle and Bruss tomorrow. I can't wait.
Okay, that sounds good. But
I cannot wait to
just
hear
know
you
I am Milwaukee's superhero. Maybe number 2 behind Torey Lowe.
Yeah,
from 101.7 The Truth. But
that's crazy. I'm Alex Strouf. If you were looking me in my eyes, I saw death. I would say just give me death.
Also, appreciate Teddy who's chiming in on the Carbless text line about my father's high school.
Washington High School.
That's correct. So they didn't close the school district, Two Rivers School District, which they did not, but they did close the high school. They tore it down, built a new one. Based on the likely age of Strouf's dad, 4 varsity letters and a conference championship at that school would have been very legitimate.
Okay.
That's what Teddy said.
Okay, cool.
But apparently everything I say you just don't believe.
No, I specifically said I'm not going to question your daddy.
You know what the best 2 words in sports are? Game 7. Come on, you know that. They say that. The best 2 words in sports are Game 7. You agree with me, right?
Sure.
You've heard that before?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So there it is.
We've got our Palermo's picks coming up next. Game 7 in the NBA. As the NBA playoffs continue to heat up, but I'm also curious if Kyle or you are watching the NBA playoffs. Are people in on the NBA playoffs or not so much? We'll dive into Game 7 coming up, which you'll be able to hear on ESPN Wisconsin, and our Palermo's picks, which are all next on Sunday Karma.
More Sunday Karma coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
Yeah, coaching matters a lot, and we've fallen short. Those are the facts. Matt LaFleur's on the clock, man. And I know he got an extension, but I'll say this. If they revert and don't get better, you're evaluated on your results.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Everybody knows, championship or bust. That is what Green Bay is. And unfortunately, we've had 15 years of bust.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
$998 buys you a magnificent diamond solitaire engagement ring at Kessler's.
A solid gold mounting shows off a big, beautiful diamond, 3/4 of a carat.
Glitter, twinkle, sparkle.
This is the definitive diamond solitaire engagement ring.
You can choose a round diamond, radiant, marquise, or oval.
3/4 of a carat. Any shape you want.
Any color of gold you want.
A 1-carat solitaire is just $1,498.
Ask to see the Evermore engagement rings at Kessler's.
You're going to be ecstatic about the color, clarity, and cut of your diamond.
Evermore.
Each of these diamonds was lovingly created in the heart of a miniature star.
Your diamond will remain.
Evermore.
Your diamond was born about the time you fell in love.
You will be in love.
Evermore.
Your diamond has been waiting patiently for you to see it, love it, and choose it.
Don't keep it waiting. Come to Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
At Saturn Lounge, we know if your marketing actually worked, you would know. Your website would perform. Your storytelling would inspire. Your campaigns would deliver leads that become sales. You wouldn't need a report to tell you. Visit SaturnLounge.com today. When marketing works, it shows.
I'm Coach Greg Gard. Building a winning team takes more than talent. It takes preparation, strategy, and the right partners. The same is true for building a successful business. That's why I'm proud to work with Bank CMG. They understand what Wisconsin business owners need. Smart banking solutions, local decision-making, and a partner who is invested in your success, not just in your account balance. Whether you're looking to finance equipment, manage cash flow, or expand your operations, Bank CMG has the experience and flexibility to help you grow. They're not a big national bank where you're just another number. They're a community bank where you talk to real people who understand your business and your market. I've spent my career building teams. Bank CMG helps Wisconsin businesses build theirs. If you're ready to work with a bank that gets it, visit bankcmg.com/business. Let's build something great together.
Bank CMG is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
Your next great round begins at Sweetgrass and Sage Run at the Island Resort and Casino. Book early in the week for best availability. Beginning in July, Stay and Play guests can preview the brand new 9-hole Cedar course, inspired by the golden age of golf. At the Island, your golf trip becomes a full resort experience with relaxing spa treatments and exceptional dining to thrilling casino action. Plan your golf adventure today at islandresortgolf.com.
One of the most important concepts in sports is don't drop the ball. Are you dropping the ball with your estate plan? When was it last updated? Have you even done one at all? It's ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde for Walney Legal Group. There's a lot at stake for you and your family when it comes to wills, trusts, probate, and elder planning. At Walney Legal, that's all they do. Tailored documents. No confusing legal jargon. Just thoughtful guidance. Do the blocking and tackling to protect your family. Start a conversation today at walneylegal.com.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year.
For over 50 years, Covenant House has been helping youth in crisis. To learn more, go to covenanthouse.org today.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video. Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. It's that time.
Yes, it's finally here.
Craig makes his picks of the week.
You can bet the house on it.
Picks of the week on Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin. Presented by Palermo's Pizza, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
Can't wait to see what happens next.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Oh, no better way to watch Game 7 on a Sunday than with Palermo's. And right now at Piggly Wiggly, Connie's Thin Crust, $4.99 through May 5th. That's Tuesday. Don't wait. Piggly Wiggly, Connie's Thin Crust, just $4.99 at your local Piggly Wiggly. Connie is pizzeria flavors without the pizzeria prices. Only $4.99 at Piggly Wiggly. Connie's perfect for busy weeknights, game night, or family dinner. Sale through May 5th. Grab your favorites while supplies last. Only at Piggly Wiggly with Connie's Thin Crust Pizza. All right, Kyle, let's see if you brushed up on your cliches, which I am so good at. The best 2 words in sports.
Game 7, according to you.
And we've got 2 of them today in the NBA. Coming up at 2:30 tip time, 2 o'clock start on ESPN Wisconsin. It is the Magic and the Pistons.
Woo, poor Magic. I tell you, they had
Did you watch that game on Friday night?
No, I did not, but I saw
the Pistons were down 24 points. And they came back and won on the road in Orlando in Game 6. The series returns to Detroit today as Cade Cunningham looks to punch his ticket to the second round in the NBA playoffs. The
Didn't
Pistons,
we do some playoff game last year on Sunday, Carl?
Yeah, well, here's the issue. We have not had all 4 of us together since the NBA playoffs have begun.
Bucks get put out, and all of a sudden Craig is all over the world, and Craig is all over the world.
Yeah. So, although rumor has it Craig will return next Sunday.
He forgot his Mother's Day, so we'll see.
Okay.
We shall see.
Fair enough. It's Mother's Day next Sunday.
Yeah.
I think I'll still be here, but I'm not positive on that.
Here we go. Gonna be another Kyle Sunday.
You're working, and then you go see Mom after?
Yep, we already got reservations.
What time's the reservation at?
12. Well, I don't know who's listening. It's 12:30, but we tell others 12:15.
Oh, okay, sure.
So they're not late. But I tell people I'm going to hanging out at Pato.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good spot for that. Great food over there.
Great spot.
Hey, so have you watched any of the NBA playoffs? Have you sat down and turned on a game?
Yes, I have. I have watched a little bit of it. When my team's out, I don't really care. But I will say this. Some of the stuff I have watched has been really good. Really good. I love the T-Wolves right now.
Yeah, I do too. They're fun. They take on the Spurs. Their series will start tomorrow.
Man.
As will Knicks and Sixers, as the Sixers get it done yesterday in a thrilling game against the Celtics. So Knicks Sixers tomorrow, which brings back the Cat and Embiid beef. Have you read about that at all?
Yeah. Okay. Fill me in.
So back in 2019, those two had like a crazy beef. They were tweeting about each other, posting Instagram about each other, calling each other bees online.
Damn, that's crazy.
So this is like a deep-rooted beef between Karl Anthony Towns and Joel Embiid, who naturally will be matched up with each other for the series.
Yeah.
That starts tomorrow night.
At what point will Joel break down? By the finals, if the Eastern Conference Finals.
I don't think they're getting that far. I think the Knicks are better than them. But we will see. We will see.
So you're telling me it's either going to be the Sixers, the Knicks, the Raptors?
Well, yeah. The two winners of today's Game 7s will play each other. So it's Pistons, Magic, Cavs, Raptors.
Pistons or Magic. Like those are the teams that are going to be going to the finals.
Yeah, so let's just go with the favorites today and say it's these four. So it's between the Pistons, the Cavaliers, the Knicks, and the Sixers. Those are your four options in the Eastern Conference.
That's crazy.
The Western Conference, of course, Oklahoma City's looking to repeat after winning the title last year. They take on the Lakers, who have been very fun.
Yeah.
You talk about Houston, we have a problem.
Rockets
were not good in that series.
Yeah, they're too young. They're babies. They're too young. LeBron, they got beat by LeBron James.
LeBron can still put the team on his back, man.
No,
and now they've got Austin Reeves back in the fold.
Did you see Game 2 or 3 of that series? I think it was Game 2 of that series where the Rockets choked.
Yeah.
They choked.
Yeah.
We choked. Those guys were just choking. They're just too young. But this right here should be not so much for the future with Giannis, but for all Bucks fans who are concerned about how long the rebuild's going to take. Look at the teams that have a chance to go to the Eastern Conference Finals right now. Granted, again, Jason Tatum was out yesterday, but the East is going to be open 4 years from now. None of these guys scare me. Like if you get all these picks, boatload of picks for Giannis, you can't rebuild something. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
The Bucks can be back 5 years from now if they do it the right way. They draft the right way.
Yeah, Luka Doncic is still dealing with that hamstring injury, by the way, so his status up in the air for the second-round matchup with the Thunder. They could certainly use him. All right, 2 Game 7s. First up, Pistons, Magic. The Pistons crawling back into the series in epic fashion. I've got them in Game 7 to move on to the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference.
I want to go with the Magic so bad, but I feel like what happened to you, I don't believe that team is good enough throughout this season to be able to recover from that. And at home, I do think the Pistons get it done.
Cavaliers and Raptors has been an epic series.
Boy, I tell you, what a shot.
And an epic conclusion tonight. That game on NBC and Peacock at 6:30 tonight. Game 7 is in Cleveland. Who do you got?
Oh, come on now. You know, this one's probably the easiest one for me.
Why is that?
Cleveland.
Why is that easy for you?
I'm just saying, I feel like Cleveland just has the better team, better players.
I also think they have the better team and better players, but I'm actually going to take the Raptors in this one. I just feel like they have their number for whatever reason. R.J. Barrett has really grown into his own in Toronto.
How is it possible that the Raptors are back now and the Bucks are out the playoffs? We both were in the same spot a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's the life cycle in the NBA, buddy. Enjoy Game 7s. Enjoy some Palermo's pizza. Those are our Palermo's picks for this Sunday. Craig is back with you next Sunday, maybe. Kyle will be here. I think I'll be here. Maybe Scals is here, maybe not. I guess I don't really know on Mother's Day, but we will have a show next Sunday. We know that at least.
Don't speak too soon.
Yeah, you're right. Thanks for hanging with us on this Sunday morning, 10 a.m. to noon. Thanks to Jason Wilde for jumping in with us. Appreciate everybody jumping in with their Matt LaFleur thoughts. We'll be back with you next Sunday. Kyle, send us out.
Peace.
This is ESPN Wisconsin and ESPNWisconsin.com.
Planning a high-level event shouldn't feel overwhelming. I'm Tiara Gomez, founder of Events by Design. For over 25 years, we've helped